want to do a quick share. Well, I don't know how quick it'll be because the book's kind of big, but I want to do a share. This was one of the very first junk journals I ever made. I made it a few years ago, and I made it for my daughter. Let me just back up a second. We do handmade gifts for our family, holiday gifts, Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, and always have. So after a while, after you've given your kids a number of things over the years, it's sort of like hard to find something you haven't given them, and that's what brought me to junk journaling. I've always been a huge recycler, collage artist, mixed media artist, and I just thought it would be a great way to give something really cool to her. So I took an old book apart, and I used chalkboard paint, and this is the brand I used, but you can use anything that you'd like. I've had this for like 3 or 4 years. It lasts a really long time. And I painted the front cover. This daughter is an engineer, so the back of it, the spine, is all decoupaged, physics, calculus, that type of book. And then I took some glittery washi tape and, did a little contrast between where the book pages ended and the painting started. I made a button from a tin can. I don't know if you can see it. And I actually used alcohol inks and I painted it. And then I just used a hair elastic. And that's what's keeping it together. So when I decided I was cleaning up my studio space and I saw the book, I was like, oh, great. Well, I realized I hadn't put a page in the front of it. What's really great about this daughter in particular is that she's very creative as well, so she really appreciated it, and she didn't mind that I hadn't completely finished it. So this is what it looked like underneath. This is where I've sewn the button on, and then I just made a quick library pocket, and I have that tutorial on my channel for the front cover. So this is what I'm going to glue in, and my hands are a little black because I realized I wanted to cover. I hadn't painted all of it, the chalkboard paint, so that's what's going to be glued in the front. So, when I first started this journey of junk journaling, I thought the idea was to make everything yourself. So I did just that. Sorry, I have it upside down. I'll turn over. Thank goodness I didn't glue the pocket in. So I did just that. And I tried to make it from as many recycled books and things that we had. So this is a shopping bag. And I've embossed the top. I don't know if you can see it. I've embossed the top to give it some texture. And inside you're going to see a pocket made from, and it's an envelope. You can see it's an envelope that is washi taped. Let me see if I can undo it. It's just a washi taped envelope. And then that I've made, and I'm going to show you how to do that again. I've made it a few times in my videos, but I'll show you again before this video is up. And then I've just used washi tape to tape it in, so it's a pocket itself. So it's an envelope and a pocket. Now I've taken pieces of map and made a paper clip embellishment. This is also a chalk painted on one side is chalkboard, on the other side was a card that I'd gotten from a vacation. They gave a package of like discount cards. So what I did was I put washi at the bottom, used a hole punch, and painted the back with the chalkboard paint. And you can see it's got some fun stuff in it. Now, I thought she would use this book as a journal. She's also an artist herself, or draw in it, and she decided she liked it just the way it was. She said she's going to put it on a coffee table. So I had to laugh. Only an artist child would view an old book as a coffee table book. If I had to do it again, I might not have picked as old of books as some of the pages are, because they do disintegrate if the books are fairly old, and some of the ones that I used are. This is just a stamp paperclip embellishment. I've taken some recycled cardboard packaging, glued a stamp on the front that I had collected, and it's just a little embellishment for her, to use or do with as she wanted. So as I mentioned, I thought that she would draw in it, but she hasn't. The pages in here are all different types of art paper, watercolor paper, tracing paper. There is some copy paper. I was very into, at the time, fold outs. So I made a lot of these little sort of inserts that I assumed she would gesso on or use in her own collage and mixed media work. So it does have a number of fun little fold outs, and I think you might enjoy thinking about, you know, doing some yourself. Map page and just old mathematics books. Now you can see, you know, as I mentioned, I thought you had to make everything yourself. So I do have a little bit of pattern paper and a little bit of washi tape, and then I've colored and drawn on it. I've made pockets for it and just put little bits and pieces. This is another one. I was into those secret pockets, so this is one of those secret pocket style pockets, you know, for you to draw on, and it opens up, and then it also had another little secret pocket in here as well. So I don't know if you can see it, but no, I was very into that. Not that I'm not now, but you know, that was sort of my focus then. Book, I've made a pocket from a book page, and then part of a security envelope, and this is, I think, just red masking tape that I had. Now, I didn't have a lot of die cuts at this point, and I wasn't as familiar as I am now with all different sort of products and different things. This one has like a cool little pocket, a hidden pocket. Like I said, I was into the hidden pocket thing. So this is primarily only made from book pages, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed making it and had a lot of fun. I did have a friend that had a die cutting machine, so I was just beginning to understand and get into it, and appreciated when she would let me come over and use her die cutting machine. A little pattern paper, not much. So you know what I loved most about this book is that, you know, I just made it with the thought in mind that she could fill it, make a smash book, do her own journaling, painting, drawing. But I did add a little bit of my personality to it as well. So this is kind of fun. Once again, I was into that fold out thing. So here we go. This one folds all the way out for her to use. And then it folds out this direction too, and it says, "You are amazing." So I wanted her to have like little surprises in the book for her to open up or to find, or as she journaled, to be an inspiration. Now, I won't go through every single thing, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of an idea of what I was thinking of and how I was making junk journals a couple of years ago. This is just I collected a stamp and made a paperclip embellishment, and then this is a pocket, and inside of it is map page envelopes, which I made, and I'm going to show you how to do that, and just some fun stuff. Map page envelopes, and then there's some, it looks like I put some math books and math book scrap paper inside as well, like little bits and pieces. These are just made from children's markers. I had some children's metallic markers, I think, by like Crayola, and they're not very expensive, and I really liked using them. And little tags. This is quite an elaborate tag for me. The top was embossed and then washied, and the back was collaged and washied. And as you can see, just more fun. This is also fold out. I'm going to try to go a little quicker. This was kind of cool. I was very into making handmade washi tape, and this is just made out of masking tape and painted on top. I did make her a couple little journaling prompting cards, things I love, using the security envelopes for like a little pocket in the middle of the page, or a little, place to clip something to. So this was a really inexpensive make. I had a lot of the paper already. Like a children's paper pad and a couple. I got a couple of old books, very inexpensively, from yard sales. I think my real investment was a couple of rolls of washi tape. I was very into making embellishments at the time. And this is actually a handmade paper embellishment. I don't know if you can see it, but like I said, I really thought you had to make everything from scratch. And like I said, I had a friend who allowed me to use her die cutting machine occasionally. So this one, I made the paper from masking tape, scrap paper, bits of paper glued down, and then I stamped on top, and then I used her die cutting machine and backed it with a brown paper bag. So I thought, that was super, super fun. Another little surprise note inside, just held into the center of a page with some washi. All my tabs are made from book pages and made from brown paper bags, and this particular daughter is not so sparkly and likes things to be very simple. And I even colored some pages with I think my youngest daughter at the time was about 8. So she helped me color some of the pages. And it was really fun. And a pocket made from a security envelope, or the bits and pieces of the bill envelope. And these are just little tiny mini envelopes that I made out of book pages. And this is a more elaborate envelope made out of a book page with washi tape as a closure. Isn't that cool? A little tab and a little doodling. This was such a fun process for me that, it really got me hooked on making junk journals. I made, I think, 3 or 4 in a short period of time for my daughters, and one for each one of them, and then one for myself. And it was just so fun. This was just a tag. I just cut a book page, glued 2 pieces of the book page together, and then made a security envelope pull. This is just made from a calendar. It's like a really cool envelope made from a calendar page. So I did buy like maybe 6 or 8 different books from yard sales or library sales, and that's what started this whole junk journaling obsession that has now taken me to another level. So as you can see, I obviously had the intention that she would washi gesso and use different things and journal. She likes it just as it is. And I didn't have any fear or have any sort of feeling that it was just a fun experience. I glued a book page down for a tuck spot. A book pocket. Belly band with an envelope with some sentiments in it. I really just made a lot of tuck spots and pockets from using tape. If you had a roll of masking tape and you painted on it, and these, like I said, were just cards that somebody was throwing out, and I made some little envelopes out of music paper and then just used washi as the tab, and it's not even sticky. It's where you stick it onto itself so that it'll fun pocket, fun layered pocket, different types of paper, and then just putting little tags and fun bits in it. And then this had mandalas. I doodled mandalas with those Crayola markers on book pages, and I thought they'd have been fun to color or add to her artwork. It was a really it was really nice to have the holidays as an end point, as a a goal. This is so funny. So my daughter that was 8 at the time, and she made my older daughter money. Do you love that? She said, I want to give her some money, and she made it. And if you look, you can't really see it very well, but if you look really close, the president is a woman, because you can see her boobs. It made me laugh. Children. Now here's handmade washi tape that I made from masking tape, and I used alcohol inks on it. I loved it, like the way it looked. I sewed this book page, and as you can see, it is just a shopping bag. And I sewed it, and then this is just some envelopes, some handmade envelopes that I've made out of chemistry and a physics book, and some little paperclip embellishments. These are embossed book pages. I thought she could use them. I don't know if you can see the embossing on them, but I thought she could use them in her mixed media artwork. So anyway, this was such a fun journaling experience for me as far as the making part. And then, seeing her receive it and tell me that it was like getting a fancy coffee table book, it thrilled me. Just some lace that I've sewn onto a book page, and then it has a map envelope. So I want to say the total cost of all 4 books, making everything, was I probably bought 4 or 5 rolls of washi tape, some which were $1. I bought the chalkboard paint, and the books were all either a dime or a quarter or something similar like that. So maybe $10 for the whole thing. Didn't you love this? My littlest daughter made her this tag. She had gotten a bunny, and so she drew the bunny. Isn't that fun? No, so I'm guessing that I made 4 books for around $10, and I had plenty of stuff to make many more books, and I'm still using some of the stuff that I bought or found or collected from it. All these envelopes have all sorts of like embellishments inside, and all sorts of like fun, like I made her some envelopes out of some Indian paper somebody had given me, and my youngest daughter made her some drawings, or they were like drawings she'd made her several years ago that I found that I thought would just be perfect to save in this book. If you've never received a book like this, it's kind of fun to just show them in a small way, things that you could do to use it. This is just an envelope, and it's not even glued down. It's just my daughter colored on it, the little one, the youngest one. Another lace pocket, just some more pages, and you can see I sewed a tuck spot there. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see. Just took my sewing machine to the paper and did a zigzag with whatever color I had in my sewing machine at the time. And one of them, you can see this one, I sewed the belly band in, the top and the bottom. I don't know. Let me see if I can tuck it up so you can see it. There's the bottom of the belly band and the top of the belly band. I sewed it in. And more doodling in the back of it. What was neat about this one is in the back I made a secret compartment. So I took part of the book that I was taking apart, and I don't know if you can see it, and I Mod Podged the pages, and I cut it out. I cut it apart, and in it I put just some envelopes and paper, and I drawn her a mandala in there. You can see the inside of the pages are pretty rough. Like, I didn't smooth them out or anything. I took an X-Acto knife and did it. It's really super simple. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little flip through. What I want to show you before we end our sharing time is how to make that little envelope that I make all the time. This is just a piece of the map, and I just thought it would be fun just to show you. Now, you want to make sure that it's square, So you want to fold it onto itself and make sure it's square. Let's see, how square is this? What's neat is if you can score a big old atlas, you have so many things that you can do with it and just some really great pops of color to use. Okay, we're going to fold two sides, eyeballing them in toward each other, and I don't have mine touching. You could take it and have them totally touch if you wanted, but this is going to be a fairly small envelope, and the closer you have them in together, the less space you have for the whatever you're going to put in it. Okay, and then you're going to pull the bottom up over. You're going to fold the point back onto itself to try and even it out a little bit. And then I fold it back under and tuck it in. And then you're going to bring the top back down. And there's your envelope. Thank you for watching my video, and please leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts and processes. This was one of my very first junk journals. Thanks for going on this journey with me. Take care and have a crafty day. Aloha.